guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Inta. If it's your first time here, welcome. I hope you do enjoy it, and if you're returning, thank you so much for stopping back by. Guys, I am smiling. The reason why I'm smiling is I think I did pretty good with my budget for this month. Like I had said, we are going to be doing 2 budget videos each month. The first one will be a budget focus where I'm going to be doing my budget with you guys. We are going to be looking at where it is that I want my money to go for that specific month. We'll be looking at my expenses. How is it that I budget for my expenses? Also looking into my savings, and most importantly looking into the investments, right? And then the second video will be towards the end of the month where I do a budget review to look if what it is that I wanted my budget to do has been done, right? So I basically review the previous month and see whether I did stick to my budget, whether my money is being taken where it was supposed to have been going. Okay, so join me and let's see how we did for this month. Okay, so guys, before we go into the budget review, let's go back and just check how it is that we wanted our budget for the month of May to be. With expenses, we had budgeted 18,000 Rand, and that was due to the bond, electricity, the rates, groceries, petrol, debit orders, school fees, as well as transport. So our monthly expenses for May were budgeted at 18,000 Rand. Moving right along, we go to our savings. We had budgeted 1,700 Rand for savings. We wanted to take 400 Rand into the Time Bank Goal Save, as well as 1,300 Rand for our monthly savings, right? Our monthly stokvel. And then moving right along to the investments, we budgeted 500 Rand for our investments for this month because we wanted to take that 500 Rand into the retail bonds. This brought us all to a total of 20,200 Rand. So our monthly expenses or our monthly budget for the month of May came to a total of 20,200 Rand, not forgetting that we had a maturity investment from our SmartVest Capital where we invested 2,000 Rand into their cattle, and we were expecting a profit of plus minus 160. So let's go straight into our budget review and see whether all these items were catered for and where is it that we can improve going forward. So guys, that was the budget focus for the month of May. I do need to note that sometimes what I budget for the month and my actual expenditure do not match, but that's okay, right? Having a budget is super important because you can use that as a tracking tool of where it is that your money actually goes. Ne? You saw where we had those line items that we had listed under our expenses, under our savings, as well as our investments, and having a budget would be a tool that I would use to track where, okay, were all the expenses paid off? Were all the investments done? Was all the savings done? It's a tool that will help me to keep track of where is it that my money goes. It's a tracking tool. It's also a motivator for you to start where you are. You can be able to see, okay, this is how much I spend on expenses. This is how much I spend on savings. This is how much I spend on paying off debt. And this is how much I spend on investing. And then when you go back in 3 months' time, you can actually see a difference in what your money does on a monthly, or in what your money does on a weekly, or in what your money does on a daily. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the budget review for the month of May to see whether Miguel did what I wrote that I was going to do with my money. Okay, so guys, I do need to remember that I need to be speaking English all the time. I do see that we do get an audience from outside South Africa, so I need to be like, my English must be like and if I do deviate every once and again, please do forgive me, and do comment down below and say, sisters, come back. come back so that we understand each other. But without any further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope that you do learn something from this video. So guys, let's take a look at where it is that our money went for the month of May. We are doing a budget review, meaning that we are actually doing the actuals for the budget, né? For May, we had budgeted 18,000 Rand. We did spend 21,600 Rand. So 7,000 Rand was still for the bond. I did not use the method where I said I was going to pay 4.9 and then 700 Rand for 3 weeks. Instead, I used this method. I broke down the 7,000 Rand into 2 and I paid every 2 weeks, né? And then going to electricity, I had budgeted 600 Rand. Our actuals was 770. Sorry about that, guys. We are in winter and I usually have the geyser on for much longer. Yo guys, this line item here is the one that just kills me. I had budgeted 800 Rand for rates and I ended up spending 1,902. So with rates, guys, I usually pay between 750 to 1,000 Rand. But every month there would be a balance that is carried over and it will be charged with the current month's services. So yeah, so for April it was just 1,900 and I decided to just pay it off. I hope for May what I'm going to pay in June will be below 1,000 Rand, okay? And then groceries, we had budgeted 3,000 Rand. Food is super expensive, guys. We ended up spending 4,100. School fees was budgeted 1,000. We spent 650. Petrol was 1.5. It was in line with the actual. It was 1,578. Transport is the normal 300 Rand. Debit orders is the normal 3,800 Rand, guys. So from our budget of 18,000 Rand, we ended up spending 21,600. And then we do have some other line items. I did need to fill my gas bottle. It is winter, guys, and I usually use gas if we have load shedding, as well as to light up the heater. And then obviously it's for church and Mamzo has to be covered as well, né? And then going into savings, we had budgeted 1.7. We ended up spending 1,900 Rand. So instead of the 400 Rand for Time Bank, I was able to save 600 Rand for this month. And then the 1.3 is the normal monthly stokvel. So I play 2 stokvels. Like I said, as a single mother, I need to make sure my money goes further. So we have the 1,000 Rand and the 300 Rand stokvel. So the 300 Rand is for December, so that I also look like other kids, guys. Okay. And then the 1,000 Rand is for January, so that most of the expenses are covered or are met halfway in January. Okay. And then going to investments, I had budgeted 500 Rand, which I wanted to take into the retail bonds. However, this did not take place. Instead, my actual investments for this month totaled 4,200 Rand, and this amount was contributed by the following. I had invested 700 Rand into my Fed Group Impact Farming. This was not out of pocket. It was the income received, and then I just reinvested it back. And then with the Easy Equities, 1,000 Rand for myself and then 500 Rand for the kids. This was out of pocket. As you have seen the previous video where I took you through my ZAR portfolio, the markets were showing me flames. But like I said, it's important to keep on investing, and it's important to keep your mind goal in mind. Okay, so I took 500 rand into my tax free and 500 rand into my ZAR, and for the kids that's 250 each. Obviously that is for their tax free. And then guys, remember I had a maturity investment from SmartVest Capital. I reinvested that 2,000 rand back into their cattle investments, and then the profit of 160 was what was used to supplement the income. So this is my budget review for the month of May. So we had budgeted a total of 20,200 rand. Our total came to 27,738.98. That was an over budget of 7,538. But guys, I must say I'm so glad that all these items that were budgeted for were met, ne? Everything was met, some not so much, but at least everything that was on the list was met for this month. So guys, there you have it. That was my budget review for the month of May. We had originally budgeted 20,200 rand. That was supposed to be covering our expenses, our savings, as well as our investments. Like, I don't even know where that money came from. Let me just be honest. Okay, I know where that money came from. It did not come from my salary, guys. You know, what I do personally is that I would structure my savings or my investments in such a way that I would know when the payouts are going to be, right? So my savings and investments are structured in a way where I know which investments I'm going to be getting in a month, or in 3 months, or in 6 months, or in a year, or 18 months. I know the timeline, right? And I know plus minus how much is it that I can be expecting as per the percentage, right? Guys, it's hard, you know, like, it's hard. We are living in difficult times where everything is so expensive, but unfortunately you will have to make it work. And myself being a single mother, I don't have a choice. I somehow have to make it work. I need to use what I have. That's why I always advocate for people to start where you are and start with what you have. Guys, I started investing back in 2018. You know, it did not just happen like overnight. It's work, and every month, every day, I'm doing something, I'm learning, I'm reading up on something. Guys, it's important that we empower ourselves. It's important that we liberate ourselves, right? I you know, being a single parent is so hard. I know this is not that video, but being a single parent is very hard because everything is on you. I get. And unfortunately, you have to somehow make a plan. You know, the kids must go to school. You need a roof over your head. You need to eat. You need those things. Those are basic needs, and they need to be catered for. And unfortunately, if I'm a person that will only say, "Hore, I only work on my salary," I would not survive. And that is the honest truth. I would not survive, and I had to be a person that sacrifices a lot. I had to be a person that plans out my financial journey, as I can say, because honestly speaking, yeah guys, no, horaf. But I am so happy that most of the items that were on the list were catered for. That difference is like almost my salary. So meaning everything else was catered for more than what I get for my job. But because I sacrifice, you know, sometimes you need to make sacrifices. Sometimes you need to be not cool, if I can put it that way. Sometimes you need to be not cool, guys, but at the end of the day, you need to understand what it is that you are working for. At the end of the day, you need to understand where it is that you want to be. Nobody is going to get you where you need to be, guys. You need to be your own cheerleader. You need to be your own master. I get, but like I wanted to show you guys, it's important for you to start where you are. Right now I'm saving and I'm investing, but I'm on a journey where I can see myself closer to a time that I don't need to be spending out of pocket to fund my saving and investments. Meaning I can see myself in the near future where now my savings and my investments would be autopiloted, meaning I don't have to be funding out of my salary. I don't need to be funding out of my salary, but those investments would be reinvested automatically, and that income and that interest and those dividends would be reinvested. So I'm building. It's about taking your building blocks. It's about starting small. It's about starting. You need to start. You cannot say, I need so much money. Where does she get so much money? It takes work. It takes time. It takes years. It takes money. It takes discipline. But in the end, you'll be able to thank yourself. So join me on this financial wellness journey. It's a journey, guys. It's a journey. We learn every day. We face challenges every day, guys. The cost of living is so high, and if you don't adjust your budget, I don't know. So that is all from your girl Nta. Until the next one, ke le rata. This one I have to say in my language. Ke le rata, ka lerato, la love. Ciao.